1990s was a simple decade coupled with good and bad memories, serving its purpose of leading out of the 1980s and into the 2000s. One of the most iconic features of the 1990s was the music that defined the decade and lasted through the times. Alternative music grew in popularity and became widely recognized in the 1990s. Bands such as Nirvana and Green Day made songs that were considered the winning formula when it came to rock, and indies artists started to make music remixes with an electric pop.
What are some of the biggest songs in the 90s that you remember hearing?
Well, some of the popular music that I like to listen to was Nirvana, Green Day, Led Zeppelin classic rock when I was in high school.
What kind of category of music was popular?
I think there wasn't anything in particular. I think there was a wide genre. You had the alternative rock on one side. You had De La Soul, that was like soul, funk, rap kind of music. Some people still listen to reggae, even that was kind of phasing out. So Bob Marley being really popular. So I think there was a huge population of like music that was just starting to explode in the 90s.
Also in the entertainment industry, who gained popularity that led into the 2000s, was Oprah Winfrey.
In the 1990s, Oprah Winfrey, already known for her show with the same name, felt that the type of content being broadcasted on talk shows was becoming something very toxic. Desiring to cause positive influence with her popularity, she pledged to keep her own show free of the desperate negative tactics being used by others. Despite this causing her ratings to fall for quite some time, her honesty and wholesomeness in the talk show business proved to earn people's respect and showcase the greatness of her kind, entertaining style.
TV and media at the time were also being used to cover stories such as O.J. Simpson's trial.
O.J. Simpson was a former actor and movie star who was popular for his prowess in sports and in the media. His well-liked image in the 1990s was tarnished after he was convicted for the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. The trials were televised actively and many people believed him to be guilty, only to find out he would be acquitted.
What was the sighting like during the O.J. Simpson trial?
Well, I think even though the media tried to present an objective view of the trial, talk show hosts and radio hosts would joke about it because it made it seem really obvious that he was guilty, so I think the general population assumed he was guilty.
Someone with a more positive light in the media was Mother Teresa.
An important figure in the 1990s was Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was a missionary, nun, and humanitarian who pledged herself to helping the poor, founding the Order of the Missionaries of Charity to do so. Living 87 years, Mother Teresa, from her teenage years to the end of her life, spent her time assisting those who were sick and without fortune. She not only helped the sick and poor, but dedicated herself to make sure that disabled, blind, and many other people suffering from things that made their lives more difficult.
Another tragedy that was captured in the media was the Columbine shooting.
The Columbine shooting was a double culprit school shooting that occurred at Columbine High School in Colorado on April 20th, 1999. Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris entered the school in disguises where they would together kill 13 people, wound 20, and afterwards kill themselves. The Columbine shooting was the first case in American history that caught the media's attention and caused a large outcry in the way school safety would be handled, as well as perspectives on gun control.
What do you remember about the media and the public's reaction at the time?
Actions reflected that they were scared. They were afraid of these changing times, and they were afraid of the fact that kids that is brought to public light had access to such violent weapons and such destructive weapons. I think that's what really scared everybody.
Do you think this kind of fear was existent before the Columbine shooting, or how did this change?
I don't think there was anything so drastic and such a mass murder situation, especially in a school setting. So even though that's not to say that there hadn't been other tragedies in history, but no, I don't think there's anything of this fear because the school is supposed to be a safe place. The community that took place in was a suburban community in Colorado. It was a fairly diverse school. It was a large school that had a variety of activities for the kids. So I think because the face of this school represented so many other schools across America, I think that's where the fear came from, because no one would have imagined that a school that's in a safe setting, in a safe environment, with caring families, would ever have to encounter something like this.
Another tragedy at the time was the death of John F. Kennedy Jr.
John F. Kennedy Jr. was flying along the coast of Martha's Vineyard on July 16, 1999, with his wife Carolyn Bessette as her sister, Lauren Bessette. Kennedy was not qualified to fly a plane, as he had only owned the plane for 3 months, and a fatal error over the Atlantic resulted in 3 deaths. The accident was investigated to have been due to spatial disorientation during that night.
Leading out of the 1980s and into the 1990s, fashion changed by 1994. 80s fashion was out of style. To pair with the alternative rock scene was the grunge look consisting of band t-shirts, ripped jeans, boots, oversized jackets, and sweaters. As the time moved on and away from grunge fashion, women's clothing became more form-fitting. Trends like the schoolgirl look and slip dress. Others include overalls worn with straps up or one down, crop tops, denim, and leather jackets, slap bracelets, and butterfly clips. Ending the decade with a little bit of humor was the Y2K bug.
The Y2K bug was a computer problem caused by programmers trying to save data space that would prevent digital clocks and calculations in changing from the year 1999 to 2000. There was an exaggerated deal of panic over the event, as it seemed like every piece of technology was going to fail as the clock hit 12 on January 1st, 2000.